Hey everyone, James here, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with you. So I'm going to be sharing with you the biggest failures that I've been through since I started my entrepreneurial journey. So this is a bit different, and I don't think people tend to like to dive back into their past where things have gone wrong, but inevitably failures will happen, and so I think it's important for me to tell you about some of the things that I did in the past that I really would like people to avoid doing when they get started on their journey. So if you're new to the channel, my name's James Eardley. I run multiple e-commerce stores in the UK, and I've generated multiple six figures worth of sales over the last couple of years. So I've had my fair shares of success, but also I've had my fair share of failures, and it's important to learn from those, not shy away from them, and to really work out what went wrong. So we're going to dive into those today. So in my early days of dropshipping, I decided to go to Google and search what product should I dropship. And the things that came back to me was AliExpress, Alibaba, those generic sort of dropshipping suppliers that are generally based over in China. And I watched YouTube videos and started to consume the knowledge that was out there around dropshipping. But this was back in 2020, so different to today's market, I think. And at that time, everyone was telling me that the best way to get started with dropshipping is to sign up to an AliExpress account, create a Shopify store, and start selling products that are priced anywhere between £5 to £30 and try and sell those through Facebook ads. So that's exactly what I did. So my first product, I remember it well, was a gamepad. So a Bluetooth controller, and you've put your phone onto the top of the gamepad, and this is how you play games on your phone with actually be using a gamepad. So it's a very cheap widget that just connected via Bluetooth, but I'll tell you why this was a huge failure. So the reason why, mainly, is that the product quality was poor. And no matter what you're selling, if you're selling a poor quality product, you can have the best marketing campaign in the world. If it's a poor quality product, people won't like it, people will see straight through it, they won't buy, and also when they do buy, they won't be happy with the finished product. So that was the first thing. Secondly, the delivery time for this product was between 3 and 4 weeks. So if you imagine, in the days of Amazon, people are expecting products to arrive the next day or within 3 working days as a maximum. And if you're told that you'll need to wait between 3 and 4 weeks before it's going to arrive, that's just going to turn into cancellations, people being upset, people being impatient. And what that really leads to down the line is an unhappy business owner, because you're dealing with reviews and you're dealing with unhappy customers, which is not what we want. So that was the main thing. It was the delivery time, the product quality. And the main thing, the third thing, the real put the nail in the coffin, why it was a huge failure, was that no matter how much money I threw at Facebook ads, I wasn't getting enough conversions to actually justify the spend that I was spending in Facebook. I thought I could just throw money, set a target for my Facebook ad campaign, and just start seeing the sales come in. But that was far from the case. I threw hundreds and hundreds of pounds into the thousands of pounds into marketing this, and because I was so new in the world of dropshipping and everything, I expected to receive these sales just from creating a campaign and then expecting the sales to come back. There was so much I didn't know about making your site trustworthy. I didn't know about how to create a campaign that really sells. I didn't know how to scale my campaign, and I didn't know when to turn it off if it wasn't working. I just tried to throw money at things and didn't know what to do. So that was a big failure, and I lost a lot of money in that. But looking back, that was actually a stepping stone, because I realised that perhaps this isn't the right model. But I'll tell you what, this leads me on to our second biggest failure. Unfortunately, I didn't learn the lesson quick enough, because my second store, after I shut down the first one, was that I decided to create a business around hype products or trending products. And the genuine name of my store was the Hype Store. So I thought it was a great idea. Let's just create hype around a store, around products, and try and sell products that were trending at the time. So I'd go onto YouTube, I'd search for trending products, and I'd start selling the products that were coming up as trending at the time. Of course, these videos had a few million views already, and so everyone else was trying to sell these products as well, and I was no different. And actually, being as naive as I was probably a lot worse than the other sellers, because I didn't know anything about how to sell these products. So on my store, it would include shoelaces that you didn't need to tie up. They were just elasticated that you do a little clip. Also some pet products that I sold a few of. And also there was a few other gaming style products as well in there. All from AliExpress, so all from China. all priced between £5 and £30, maybe £40 maximum. And I could buy them from AliExpress for maybe £20, maybe half price of what I was selling them. So I thought I had a great deal. That gave me a budget of maybe £10 to £20 per product that I could spend on advertising. And so I went straight into Facebook marketing and I tried to spend as much as I could on those ads. Again, what happened was I'd start off and there'd be no sales, but I didn't know when to change or what to do. So I'd leave it longer and longer and longer, waiting for sales to come in. And it wasn't until I had made maybe 1 or 2 sales, then I'd start to think, perhaps it's about to take off. And then it would go quiet again for a few days, and then I'd make 1 or 2 sales. But what that did, because I didn't have a keen eye on the important metric, which was how much am I making for my ad spend, I wasn't keeping an eye on that. Instead, I was just looking at sales numbers and the revenue that I was generating. What that led to, in the end, ultimately, was spending far too much money on ads that weren't getting the right return. So, another big lesson learned. And I realised that I need to really know what I'm doing before you start spending money on ads, because you can go very wrong. So, a couple of big failures there, and actually things that I really value the fact that I went through those now, because I can see how stupid they were now looking back, but at the time I didn't know. So you just don't know what you don't know when you first get started. And I wouldn't change anything, even though those failures cost me a lot of money and it was difficult to go through at the time and I felt like a failure. I wouldn't change it at all, because from there I could learn what not to do. And I'm so glad that I had the courage just to start something, because when you start something, even if it's the wrong model, at least it gets the ball rolling, at least it gets you learning, and at least it takes you away from just consuming content and actually getting off the fence and trying something and starting it. So I'm proud of myself, even though it was embarrassing and I was there at night really upset at the fact that I just wasn't getting anywhere with my newfound love for e-commerce. I'm so glad that I made that start, and it was important to do that. What it taught me was persistence, and the fact that you just need to keep going, especially when things are difficult. That's the time when you just need to lean into that and push on more. I could have easily decided that e-commerce didn't work. I could have decided that dropshipping is all a fad and that it doesn't work and it's all made up. And I could have stopped at that point. But I'm so glad that I leant into that, realised that this is not the way to do it, and I looked for different methods of dropshipping, which is what inevitably led me into the success that I've now achieved. Now that I've generated some sales, and I've got a sales history of up to £700,000 worth of revenue that I've generated in my lifetime of my businesses, I've learned a lot in that time. And what I've learned is that you just need to keep going and stay in for the long term. So you just need to set up with a model that will allow you to weather the storms of ups, of highs and of lows, that will keep you going for years instead of weeks, which is the case with my other products. So the way to do that is to get really high quality products that you can deliver fast and that you can guarantee good service for your customers. Also, you need to have a keen eye on your marketing spend, and you need to know which metrics to follow. So I've moved, since those lessons that I've learned, I've moved to do my marketing now on Google Ads. So what that means is I am only bidding and paying for adverts when people are clicking on them. So instead of with Facebook, the way you pay for ads on Facebook and Instagram is you pay per impression. So for every time somebody sees an ad, you're paying as an advertiser for somebody to see your ad. However, with Google Ads, so they're the ads that you see on your search engine results at the top of the screen, advertisers will only pay if a visitor actually clicks on that ad and goes through to your website. So that's straight away going to qualify the people that are on your website much more, and it's going to mean your ad spend is much more based on people that are actually interested. So that's the first thing that I've done now, is with Google Ads, and I learned that. The second thing is that I needed to reduce my delivery time. And the way you can reduce your delivery time is to make sure the stock that you have, or not that you hold, but that you have access to through suppliers, is in the same country as your customers. So if you're going to sell to the UK, make sure you've got suppliers in the UK. If you're going to sell to the US, make sure you've got your suppliers in the US, because you can then achieve up to the next day delivery. I certainly can with my products in the UK, and I get products delivered to my customers now generally within 3 days as a maximum, and that's all possible. Another thing that I learned is that the low price of those products that I was selling initially from China left no profit for me when I made sales and when you account for your marketing spend. So when you're selling a £30 product and your profit per order is just £10, you've only got £10 to spend on marketing to find a customer, and then when you've spent some money on marketing a customer, you're left with even less than that £10 to keep for yourself. And so say you've got £5 profit per order after marketing, think about how many sales you need to make an income for yourself. It will be within the, you need 500 sales or more than that to actually have an income that would sustain you. So instead of that, I sell now products that are over £1,000, and my average order value is about £1,200 for the products that I sell. And what that means is I can make profits of over £300 as an average per order, and that means I've got lots of room to spend on marketing, and when we've found customers and acquired customers, there's still plenty of money per order that is profit that can then be reinvested into the business or taken out for myself to actually sustain my income and to sustain my lifestyle. So lots of lessons learned. There's definitely ways of doing dropshipping that's much better than the ways that I did it initially. And the way I learned how to do all this was through Dropship Unlocked, which is the UK training program that teaches people how to dropship with domestic suppliers and essentially have a fast track to doing dropshipping in the correct way and not doing it in the way that I did, where I was selling products from China and inevitably failing with that model. So hopefully you've enjoyed my stories today. Hopefully it shows you that failures are just part of the journey and that I'm nothing special. I've generated these numbers now, but I started exactly where you were. I had no experience, I didn't know what I was doing, but by getting up, by starting, by learning, and then by failing, I could eventually learn how to do things the correct way and get on, and I'm sure you'll be able to do the same. So my advice, if you are interested in doing dropshipping for yourself and learning from my mistakes, would be to go to the first link in the description, and what that is the free training that's provided by Dropship Unlocked, and you can learn more about the specific type of dropshipping that I've talked about today. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you are interested, go ahead and click that link. Until the next video, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.